So I'm in a bit of a predicament. My computer isn't working properly again. It's not. So now that we've powered down this PC and we've disconnected all the cables, I haven't disconnected the Wi-Fi, but I ain't going to do too much. We're going to grab our PC and we're just going to chuck it down over here and pull everything apart. That's usually the best thing that resolves everything is, so far I've found, is just pulling the whole thing apart and just reconnecting everything. Anytime it starts having an issue, saves my day. So let's see if that happens. Otherwise, yeah, we're going to be in a shit situation. I mean, this isn't the best surface to be doing this on, I guess, using a bed, but I don't really have many other surfaces to do this on. But yeah, usually once I've powered everything down, everything's disconnected. Usually hold the power button for an X amount of time to try and just drain the power out of everything. So that's my SSD drive. We can just disconnect that. We don't, it's a nice Samsung drive, it's pretty good, but just chuck that aside. That's the cables for that. So that's the SSD drive cable. That's the fan cable over here. So we just disconnect the fan there. A bit tangled up, so that's the fan over there. That's just another spare component for like random crap, which is more lights and whatever, fans, etc. So that can go over there out the way. So yeah, that's got the power supply for the drive, and then the extra components. It's just another crap. So go out the way. This is the one for the graphics card, so let's just unconnect that one. Out the way. And this is the one for the motherboard. Disconnect that. Out the way. And then this is the other part of the motherboard, but this is more for like finer components. So let's just go here and get that one out the way. So we are completely disconnected power wise. Power is its own separate thing now, and everything's kind of back to normal. So that's all in, that's fine. We've had to remove the CMOS battery a few times. I bought a replacement, but I think this is where everything started going wacky after I did buy a replacement for the CMOS battery. So that could have been a power issue, but it has been working without it. RAM is very expensive these days, but these are the RAM sticks I have in my PC. Pop them out. Like I said, disconnect everything. I have the Ripjaw DDR4V series. Pretty cool. Worth a fair bit now, thanks to the market going up. But yes, they're pretty good. They're alright. Nothing going on with them. Smell fine to me, so nothing's gone on them. That's why I like to smell if the drives are going. Best way to tell usually for me is I can smell them on the stick. Because I've had burnt RAM before and it's a very prominent smell. So locked in, they're in, RAM's in. Everything's basically the way it needs to be. I've got some janky ass fan workshop going on because when I bought the fan and the measurements said what it was supposed to be like the normal fan. Ended up not being the right size, ended up being a smaller fan, which I was kind of shitted off about, but it was cheap and I just couldn't be bothered trying to. So I've got a tiny fan and a large fan. I've only got 2 fans because this whole thing's been a shit show for a long time. Part and parcel to why I'm basically building a whole new PC, which this is my more recent power supply and they'll be going into the new build. The RAMs are still good, so they'll be going into the new build. This graphic card's still good, as I was aware of. It's been working fine still, so they'll be going into the new build. Which is basically the motherboard and the new CPU I'll be getting. Hard drive's still good. I've got a disk drive, which that was more for this build because I was doing stuff with disks at a point. So now I'm basically just going to plug everything back together and see if we can plug it back in. So all the ports on these holes look great. Everything looks good. We're going to pull these plugs back in together. Back to where they came from. And then we'll plug it all back up and power it up and see if it... Because it's sat now unplugged for a decent little bit of time. Otherwise, yes, I'll be getting my parts sooner rather than later to get my new PC done. That was for the... That's the dual split. Yep, so that's the one for up here. See, some of these two look similar, and you don't get yourself confused because the ports are actually different. So this almost looks like an 8x8 because of that one, but it's actually different because it has squares on the outside and then curves on the middle, where this has curves all the way across until the last one. So that's how you know which one's going to where, and this one goes back up top here. So everything has, each cable has it right place for it, right home. Right place, right home. So it's not too bad. We'll just run that one up that way. This is the drive for the hard drive. So that's power supply to the hard drive, and then data transfer for the hard drive. Tuck that in there. Oh, you want a closer look, do you? Right. So yeah, this, like I'm saying here, this is actually a it's done differently. So instead of the 8 being a full, the other one was a full 8, but it's not. It's actually a half, so it's like 4 and 4. Where this one here, for your graphics card, is actually for the 8. It's actually a 6 and 2, and then that goes in there, like so. Oh, if it stays together. You always have extra ports for, I guess, if you wanted to have 2 graphics cards, but then you know, your PC's doing more than what it's needing to be. And then this is just the other random one, which is another component power cable like the hard drive. You get 2 of those, so everything's connected back up. Everything's all connected in its right spot. So we've got the hard drive connected, the graphics card connected, the motherboard's got power there, the part of the motherboard's up there, and the lights. So we're going to do another power drain. We're going to hold it. We're going to put this thing back, and we're going to plug the power in and see if anything's resolved for now. Otherwise, we might be completely screwed. The whole thing's like finally kaput. So power cable. We don't really need anything else. We're going to plug that into the power supply down here. Plugged it in. Turn the switch on. Graphics card's lit up. Motherboard kind of lit up. And we've got no juice. Oh no, we do! We are alive! We're alive! It's working. It's always what I need to do. It's alive. This is basically how I get my PC to work. Is just unplug everything, replug it back in, drain power, and voila. So, kind of the reason why I'm building a new PC is I got to do this nearly once a fortnight, which is kind of... You shouldn't have to pull your PC apart once a fortnight to get it to work, but here we are. It's fun times.